Leave me alone! Leave me alone, guys! Serve me my drink. I didn't drink it home. Exactly, thank you. And then come and serve me. Come and serve me. Thank you.
And what is your designation?
The pilot.
She can never be a pilot. This one.
Yeah, you can be a human being.
The flight, I think, took off from King Shaka International Airport in Durban, 8:30 in the evening on the 26th of December, which was Boxing Day. And then we were due to land in Cape Town International Airport at 10:30. I was not intoxicated. We did arrive at the airport. My partner and I went to the Slow Lounge. We ordered some dinner, and I think we had like 1 or 2 drinks, and that was it, which is what some of the media people have used in terms of the picture to actually write articles insinuating that
the
we were
picture
drunk.
that you posted drinking in the Slow Lounge.
Yes, the picture where we were like, cheers guys, happy new year, you know, we all are headed to 2025 because it was just literally after Christmas, and that was it. So having a drink or 2 at the Slow Lounge while you're waiting to board, I don't think that is considered being drunk to start off with. The aeroplanes themselves, or should I say, they serve alcohol inside the aeroplane. So if you are drunk, I think you are considered to not be able to conduct yourself, or you can't walk, or you can't, you know. But everybody, you know, after you've checked in, you sit down, you have a sandwich, you have a glass of champagne, and then you board. So that does not qualify as being drunk. I was not at all. Yeah. What happened was we then boarded, and as you can see from where we were sitting right back, you know, of the flight. There were, I think, 3 people behind us, and then it was us in front. I was actually seated by the window, which is actually quite interesting because when everything happened and the attack took place, I was seated right by the window. And then my partner was seated in the middle seat, and then there was a young little boy seated by the aisle. She came out, the flight attendant. She started serving refreshments. She started with the seat behind us. She served them, and then she got to us. She asked, what are you guys going to have? I asked her. I said, what kind of wines do you guys have? You know? And then she took out a little can, which I had never seen, funny enough, before. It actually looks like tonic water. She took out a can, and she was like, here, have mellow. And she said it in Xhosa. And I said to her, no, I don't want to have mellow because I'm still traveling and all of that. You know, you still need to check in, go to the hotel, get your bags. You need to still be, you know, very, very focused in doing all of that when you're traveling. So I asked, I said, do you have like a Sauvignon Blanc, or maybe do you have like a Cabernet? And then she said, no. And she said it in Xhosa. She's like, have this. And I think that's where I got a bit shocked, you know, being a brand specialist by profession and understanding the importance of service and options and actually, you know, because I'm paying for it. If I was flying, let's say, Emirates, or I'm flying, let's say, you know, like British Airways or something, or even South African
So is
Airways.
the disagreement stemming from the type of drink that you wanted?
Yes, the disagreement actually stemmed from the fact that she refused to sort of like give me an option of what I wanted or to actually serve me.
So when you say, I'm sorry to interject, when you say the drink looked like it was a tonic or was it an alcoholic beverage or a non-alcoholic beverage?
It was an alcoholic beverage, but what I was asking her is that I don't want a mellow, because if you like drink mellow like red wine and you understand, it's a bit heavy, especially when you're still traveling and you still need to be focused. But for me to say, do you have a Sauvignon Blanc or do you have, let's say, a Cabernet? For me, I just wanted like something light, you know, it's like how you have like a glass of light white wine with fish and stuff and you take it. But red wine is like quite heavy. Everybody knows that who enjoys wine, you know. It's something you will drink at the end of the day at home, dinner, maybe red meat and wine.
Sure.
So no, I think she first said, have this. I said, no, I don't want. I asked her for the different options. She said, no, but I'm like in course, I have. And then I looked at her and I said, no. When you're at a restaurant, for instance, at Spur, for instance, and they serve you your steak or they serve you your ribs and they're not done properly, you've got the right as a customer and as a consumer, like sales 101, everybody knows the customer is always right.
But to be fair,
that is why I then said to her, can I have the menu then? Because you cannot be telling me what I must have. Because she was insisting to say, no, have this. And then I said, I don't want that. Then I said, it's a simple question. If your steak is not right, you ask the waiter, can you please take it back? Or if somebody at a restaurant says to you, what kind of soft drinks do you have? And then the waitress says to you, we've got Fanta Orange, we've got Sprite, and we've got Coke. And then you say to her, sorry, by the way, do you have maybe like an appetizer? And then the person says no. So I was a bit like, you know. And
so
then
at what point did it escalate to the point at which it did?
It escalated when she then said, I will not serve you. And then she pushed the trolley. And then I was actually very, very much overwhelmed. I was like, since when? First of all, since when do air hostesses force people to have a certain type of food or drink? And then on top of that, you are telling me that you're not going to serve me. So that's when it started. Then I think I was a bit overwhelmed on some, how dare you say you're not going to serve me and stuff, you know? And then I said, excuse me. She decided to carry on walking. And then the people that were also sitting there, they're like, excuse us, you can't just like, you know, walk. That's when the noise started.
Come on, this flight, you don't even know. You think you're one from this here?
Why are you touching me like that?
Serve me right now. Serve me my drink. I get you. I didn't bring it home. Exactly. Thank you. And then come and serve me. Come and serve me. Thank you.
Then she went to the back, you know, of the plane, like the corporate and stuff. So I thought to myself, okay, maybe she's going to get the menu and maybe she's going to check the different options and she'll come back and let me know. The next thing, she came back with the other air hostesses and then the attack started and then there was the back and forth and then there was... So that's basically what happened. They started insulting me, they started shouting, they started talking.
Who's
and then
they?
It was the three hostesses, like the air hostesses. Yeah, it was the tall girl and then the other two, the other two air hostesses. And then there was just like a spat. You know how women would actually be fighting over a man or like a kind of catchy fight. And I was just like overwhelmed. And everybody was like, oh. And that's when I was like, but you cannot do that. You can. Then they were like, no. Then there was a back and forth, the noise, the voices. Then people started realizing what's going on. And then that's when, you know, everything.
Let's speak.
So I think when we get to that part, Maschaba, I'd like to take this opportunity actually to apologize to the colored community because that's not who I am and I was not raised like that and I do not believe in such whatever that was said. I must say sincere apologies from the bottom of my heart. Why I say this is because I was
But you can't say you sincerely apologize and say whatever that was said. What did you say?
So when the attack happened and then the back and forth and then after that, the guys like that you were talking about, there were men all over. They had cable tires. They strangled me. The one came from the back. I mean, if you see the beginning of the videos and how everything transpired to a point where there's like a group of aviation lawyers that approached me on Twitter that actually wrote it step by step that, you know what, if you want to sue the airline, you can because A, B, C, D, E, F was wrong. How did the cable tires come in? Since when again do men have the authority
you haven't answered the question.
Yes.
Before we get there, what did you say to the colored community?
So I did say, like, you know, whatever you colored from Mitchell's Plain kind of thing, you know, you don't even have a degree or whatever, and you're going to be taking a taxi, I'm going to take an Uber, because I was so upset. As much as I'm saying that I do apologize sincerely to the colored community, because it's like, you know, we are a rainbow nation country. We all tease each other. You know, there'll be that uncle in the township, people tease black people, colored people in a nice context when people are laughing. We all know, you know, like, but in that context, I think it was wrong. And I would like to apologize because colored people are educated. I've got colored friends. I'm not racist. And again, our constitution, I don't think can actually also identify that as racism.
How? What do you mean by that?
Because we fall under the same group, due to the Segregation Act and due to apartheid and the colonization that we come from in South Africa, which is interesting because this whole scenario attracted British media. It attracted media from the USA and stuff. Hence, I've decided to come to News Africa, also break my silence so that I can continue to actually, talk about that narrative. What made that statement to be racist? I might have said it out of anger. It was girls fighting. It was They had attacked me. It was self-defense. They had me on the floor. So for me to come
So you're apologizing, but you're actually contradicting yourself if we are to be fair, because you're saying, I apologize. But what are you apologizing
for?
No,
I'm apologizing to the public. We form a rainbow nation in South Africa. You've got like like many languages, but in terms of the community of the colored people, I do not think that was very fair for me to just like put them under an umbrella. But to those girls that were attacking me and I was responding as self-defense and whatever, to them, it's like how a girl would just say something funny because like she's mad. But to Newsroom Africa is because the abuse that I received on social media, the bullying, even from a political leader of this country who actually defamation of character to another level. He himself was racist on that, whatever that he was talking about. I'm referring to the Patriotic Alliance, leader or deputy leader, Kenny Gunene. When he was going on saying like, in fact, I decided to wear the same wig today just so that the country can see that wig that he was going on. Cheap wig. She just woke up and she just like took a vast slap and she washed her face. But you must listen to that clip and that interview that he did. I don't know how many times he mentions the word pretty girls, beautiful girls, referring to the colored girls that were attacking me on the flight. And then he then says the colored girls are actually better because they've got mixed blood.
In the video, you can see where she's trying to grab a very expensive, beautiful weave of a lady, beautiful lady. 3 ladies that you see, that these ladies, they jumped in the bath. They cleaned themselves. They made themselves beautiful to go to work. And this lady, who you can see, she just took a Vaslab that morning and just cleared her eyes. And she even has the audacity to take off her weave. And once she takes off that cheap weave, I just saw a ho there.
Suing SAPS. So on what grounds is to answer your question? I was appalled and I'm still appalled. I think that's why people end up committing suicide. That is why people end up, I'm happy that even now there's so much content that has come out in like your Netflix and stuff where people are actually understanding the danger of like social media and how people can just cyberbully you and stuff without verification. Especially for my employer also, which is the South African Broadcasting Corporation of this country. How dare they?
Let's talk about the SABC for just 1 second. They released a media statement saying that they denounce your behavior and also you did bring the corporation into disrepute. They said that they were launching an investigation. How far is that investigation? As much as you know, what is the formal communication? Are you back at work?
They have fired me. They have fired me without doing an investigation. They have fired me without even giving me a phone call. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And that is why I'm saying that I'm appalled, because the SABC, their code of conduct, is approved by the board. The board reports to the cabinet. The cabinet reports to the president. So how dare they do this, which is very like unethical. It's not even according to like the Labor Relations Act. I'm appalled. They released a statement saying that, yes, I'm their employee and they've contacted me, they're going to talk. They've never even given me a call till today. But not only that, Mastaba, I'm just so appalled. They call themselves the South African Broadcasting Impartial Independent, but then they're the ones that fueled and put fire into those videos. I never said I work for the SAPC. When I stood up after those girls attacked me, and
you actually implied that you worked for the SAPC.
No, I didn't.
In the clip, I've seen all of the clips that have been released in the public domain.
You must watch the clip again, Mastaba. Okay. I never. After they attacked me, after I was mad, and I stood up.
You said that this clip, your exact words were that this, you'll make sure that it gets onto SABC News.
No, I didn't say I'll make sure.
Implying.
So I stood up.
What did you say? Okay, tell us what you said.
So I stood up under so much anger and, self-defense, like I say. At the end of the day, if somebody comes into your yard and you've got children and you are raising a family and you are allowed to shoot them.
What did you say?
So when I stood up, I mentioned, I was so upset, and I said, do you know who my father is? Which again, unfortunately, trended because people thought that I was making myself all better. But I was trying to summarize the fact that I grew up in a media home. I grew up in and I understand that the severity of the case, trying to make these girls to understand that whatever that they've done.
Why was that important?
It was important for me to say because I had mentioned several times when they were attacking me, when you see the beginning of how the video started, I tell them that this is against the law. This is illegal. That's why I even take that
illegal?
thing. After them, they strangled me. They tried to put cable tires. How do you put cable tires on a woman that was sitting right on the window sill? The fact that they were pinned, like they pinned me, Maschaba, to a point where I saw clouds. You know when a man hits you, let's say when you're sitting in a car and you are driving around in in the hood. Imagine now you are up in the air, turbulent and everything, and people have your face pinned on the... Now, how was I a danger?
But to be fair, now we have to be balanced. Now, the airline safety regulations state that they have to try and diffuse any situation that could be a threat to themselves or to the safety of their passengers.
There's a group of aviation lawyers that came out on Twitter, hence I was saying publicity is publicity. And what I like about, like having faith and praying to God and actually believing that no matter what, I always used to like the Psalms 23. Even today, I still like it. Because even when you walk through the deepest darkness, God will be there. Because out of the blue, as much as there's been negativity that's been going on and some people pushing those videos to go viral, but there's a lot...
Which people do you think are pushing those videos to go viral?
I will come back to that one. But there's a group of aviation lawyers that just also came up on Twitter and started making facts. They said, no. First of all, look at this. They even they make circulations of different things. This girl was seated. Where did the cable tires come in? Who were those men? Who authorized that?
We could see you violently, physically attacking a crew member. You threw, I don't know if it's a can.
It was a can of cold drink. You see now, it was after they were all over me. They had been all over me. They had attacked me. So for me to try to
look like they were all over you after you had become antagonistic in that situation.
No. It was for me to throw that thing. To be honest, it's because it was I was trying. I got into. I've never understood when people say it was an out-of-body experience. I was almost like.
Would you say you were not in your right mind?
I wouldn't say I was not in my right mind, but I think the shock. The shock, because there's a part where you also see me laughing there and I'm actually making a stupid lie. That one I must say, I don't even know what was happening, but it's because when I stood up and I said, oh no, don't worry about it. This is like a shopper marketing thing. I was trying to be and people laughed, you know what I mean? Okay. And I was trying to say, no. It's because I was so shocked that myself, I had never been a violent person. But when I got up from the floor to actually realize that I'm even embarrassed myself to watch those videos because I don't recognize that person. I do not recognize that person. But the fact that I went into such animal mode, Maschaba, that's when I realized, because, this is how the animals, I think, live at Kruger National Park. That lion will do anything to protect its cubs. But I was so angry that for me to throw... that thing, it was to push them away because you see them.
I'll be very honest with you. It sounds like you are shifting the blame to everybody else.
Yes.
Do you take any accountability?
Yes, I do. Like I said, I do take accountability for what I said in terms of the colored community. I apologize. But secondly, I must actually highlight this also. I could have handled it better. You see, that one, I'm not going to lie. I could have handled it better. But because, like I say, I was so traumatized.
We do need to wrap, but so how far is your lawsuit against the South African Police Service as well as FlySafair? Have you actually laid the lawsuit? Or
yes, my legal team have served them, and then we'll be following up with that. So to highlight your question,
when will that be?
We have served them, they've submitted.
When did you serve them?
They submitted the letters of demand. I think it was sometime last week and stuff.
Have they responded?
They have not responded.
Okay.
So we're gonna.
And then, are you intending to take any action against the SABC?
Oh yes, definitely. I am going to take them to labor law, to labor courts. There's no other ways, because you cannot get into. You cannot get into it like an altercation, let's say, on a weekend, Mashaba, and you are like at a bar with a friend and, you know, somebody comes to you and you're trying to defend yourself in terms of self-attack, like self-defense. And then on Monday, you get fired from
Have they
work.
served you with formal communication to say that you've been dismissed?
Yes, yes. They even did very, very, like, you know, not so labor proper things when it was the hearing and stuff. It's been a lot. But what I'm against is that, especially because they're a state-owned company, you can't.
When you say they did not so improper things, what do you mean by that?
Oh man, can I just like, I'll keep that.
You can keep that to yourself.
To myself.
And then now just to wrap up the conversation, because we do have to wrap.
Yes.
In closing, you have been shamed publicly.
Yeah.
Is there anything you regret or would have done differently?
Definitely. I have been shamed, like, you know, publicly. I do take ownership and of the way that I acted, but like I said, it was self-defense, and I think I was in trauma mode. I could have handled the situation better, but it's just that at that time, I think, like I said, I was on animal mode. But in terms of my reputation, in terms of my career, in terms of everything, I needed to do this. I needed to come and, you know, even though it might not go as viral as the other one went, because of course, bad things go viral, good things don't go viral. But I just needed people to understand that there was a story behind it, and the fact that they didn't even serve us on top of that. And for them to come up, you see, Mashaba, this is what I was actually telling a family member of mine the other day. If FlySafair had come out and said, she behaved unruly, she was loud, she did this and that, I would have apologized a long time ago.
They did come out to say you behaved unruly.
No, but the fact that they lied. You see, they lied. For them to come out and say that I was fighting for a last glass of alcohol, and then they tarnish my name, they tarnish my father's name, my career, my everything.
They didn't know who your father was.
No, but like I said again, if you listen to that clip again, like you were saying, even
until you mentioned, do you know who my father is?
Which is funny, because I was trying to say that, and when you listen carefully, I say there that the fact that you guys have abused me like this in front of everyone, and there's videos that are going viral, this will be on the news. This will be on
and you
SABC.
Said it will be SABC
Yes,
News.
And then I said it will also be on ETV in the same breath. I thank God that I mentioned those two media houses in the same breath. Why? Because I never stood up and said, I work for the SABC, who know my dad is. It was the trauma, but I was actually trying to tell them again. Because when you listen to the other videos, you hear me saying, it's against the law. You can't do this. And because I'm a marketer and I'm a brand manager by profession, I knew that those things are going to go viral, and the fact that I was warning them, hence they've gone to lie. They went to tell their bosses that, oh no, I did this and this, and it's a lie.
We're going to have to leave it right
there. If they had come out, Mashaba, like I said, and said, okay, I was unruly, whatever, I would have apologized. But you do not come and say I was fighting for the last glass of alcohol. Never. There's no sane person who would act the way that I was acting in that plane for a glass of alcohol. I refuse.
Life of an artist, bacho xa besipayisisa, glorifying drugs as a stage fright cure. You can try this just when you're about to grab your chance of staging. Excitement, you can't think out this industry, or should I say this killer dream, cause you will swear that from the start it was designed to kill artists. Bangakulwela when days are bright, unguthembekile. As a human being on Instagram, ungxekekile. Too much pressure, unrealistic expectations. Whoever said that artists are perfect, is with us, uthembekile. Singiza uthembekile. Remedies within us, ezihwemba sibhebhekile.